Hi everyone, welcome to the first quarterly release of 2024 of SAP Analytics Cloud. Before we dive into the new releases, let's introduce ourselves. Hi, my name is Luna.
Hi, my name is Jens.
And we both work at Flexo in the analytics team. Now, what will we see during this session is we subdivided the new releases according to the following subcategories, namely augmented analytics, story design, the new features for story extensibility, data exploration, and lastly, we will take a look at enterprise planning.
Yeah, that sounds like a big release. So why don't you kick it off with the augmented analytics?
Let's start with that, yes. So the new feature just ask is the next generation natural language query that is powered by AI. So it is available for tenants that are running in Google, Azure, and Amazon. Now, what does this feature offer is that it improves the relevancy of your query results. Now, how does it do that is that it can categorize text as known entities. So for example, if I type order, because I want to see my order values, immediately it will associate the dimension it knows and give the option to select that dimension. It also can leverage word similarities that are based on meaning. And lastly, the algorithm contains some rules that really comprehend or grasp the user intent. So now this feature is available for acquired models and SAP DataSphere models. And of course, the benefit is that it allows users to get answers on their own.
Yeah, that sounds like a very big feature. Why don't you give us a peek behind the curtain?
I actually prepared a demo. So in this demo, we will see where is the feature situated on the launchpad. We will also query a model. So we will ask what is the order value per product ID, and then we will further detail our query by asking what is our order value per product ID, but also which customer segment is contributing the most to our order value. So let's take a look at the demo. So here you can see that I select the feature, which is next to the search to insight feature. And then we first, of course, need to pick our model. So here we connect to a DataSphere model, and we will select a sales model that we have prepared. And now it's time to add our query. So we want to ask for the order value. And as you can see here, I type order, and it immediately gives the dimensions associated with the word. When we search, we get our first graph.
Wow, so in just a few words, we get an established graph.
Yeah, exactly. And if we even want to rank our top 5 products, we can already do that here. Yeah.
Okay. And now you can just easily adjust it as well.
Yeah. So now we add the customer segment here, and now we will see which customer segment contributed most to the order values. And also here again, we could rank our dimensions.
Yeah, very handy tool.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's continue. Now for predictive planning as well, 2 new types of predictive actions were added for what-if simulations. So before we had the train and forecast feature or action, and now we can also have apply only and train only as 2 new options. So now for train only, for example, you could use one model to retrain your time series. And that can happen as an isolated action because you don't have the explicit need to apply your model immediately. With apply only, then you could apply a predictive model that has been retrained several times to a forecast, for example, or to make a forecast. And this can result into different output versions. So now what are the benefits here is that you can actually train and apply your model as independent steps. And it also allows you to, for example, run or explore pessimistic or median or also optimistic scenarios. And furthermore, if you have built those models, of course, you can compare your scenarios with the use of stories.
Okay, so if I can summarize it, you now have the option to apply only, train only, and combine those two together.
Exactly. The two features were added, so the first one still remains available.
Okay.
So now, Jens, why don't you tell us a little bit about the features of the story design?
Gladly. So there were a couple of big changes, especially regarding the copy-paste features of story design. First of all, now you can copy individual objects of stories who are non-optimized design experience. So the older versions to a newer version, so with the ODE or optimized design experience stories. So now you can just copy paste an object to a older version to a new version of story. And furthermore, they added also the feature to copy fully fledged pages from one story to another. So these needs to be the stories with the optimized design experience on, but I think this is a very powerful tool. Furthermore, you now can also click on an internal hyperlink, and the filters that you have selected will now also apply to the page or the story that has been linked with the internal hyperlink. So if I click on an internal hyperlink to another page, and I've selected a certain business unit, that also will be applied to that page or that story.
Okay.
And then there was also some more new features about the story extensibility. Mainly the customization of the toolbar that is now available. So before that it was fixed, and now you can customize it on your own needs with the mobile application and with the mobile web browser. Furthermore, you can also now support the bookmarking with the custom widgets. Before that was not possible, and now it is currently available.
Okay.
Why don't you say what data exploration has in store with us?
Yes, there have been actually quite some nice improvements for the data analyzer. So as you can immediately see here is that we have a new formula editor for adding calculations in the data analyzer. New functions that are supported are, for example, taking the absolute value or power of a number, but also new operators such as a plus, minus, divided by, and the conditional operators and so forth. So the benefit really here is that you can now explore your data, showing calculated measures on your tables or charts in the data analyzer. So you don't require a story to add calculations here. So as this is such a powerful new feature, we would like to show you what it looks like in the system. So here we are in the SAP Analytics Cloud Launchpad on the home page, and we go to our data analyzer. And just as before, we will take our analytics sales model. We go to the right space and we select our model. As you can immediately see here, we have two measures for price and units sold. So now I would like to see what is my total ordered value. So I'll create a measure here, and I add, I add order value here, and again, order value as the name of the calculation. And here I would like to multiply my units sold with the price. And as you can see now, we have our order value available. So for example, if I would like to see my product ID as well here, units sold, order ID, you get the result. So very powerful.
Yeah, it gives you a lot of flexibility with exploring of your data.
Absolutely. So now there were two other updates with relation to the export data dialog. So here there is an additional feature or checkbox that you can select if you want to print repetitive members. So what happened before is that when you had a repetitive member and you would take an export, then you would get blanks. And with this additional feature, you are now able to select if you really want to print those repetitive members. and it works for the dialogues of Excel, PDF, and CSV. So this could really help if you want to work with your data in those three dialogues. Then another feature is with relation to data analyzer insights, because if you now share your insights with someone else, for example, the filters would be retained or would remain, so that a user would not need to really add those same filters again. So you're looking at the same insights when you share it.
Yeah. So you have the same view as the one who has created it.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that brings us to the final category, enterprise planning.
Yes, those are small topics, but significant nonetheless. For example, with data actions, now we can, with a data action, copy the data from a non-planning model to a planning model. Before that, it was only possible to copy data from a planning model to another planning model. So that is a huge improvement and gives you a lot of flexibility. Another great improvement is the synchronization to Office. So now if you have a certain task or a certain event within SAC, now that can be pushed to your Outlook. And that way your Outlook becomes a one-stop shop for all of your events or all your tasks.
Yeah. So if I, for example, have a task in the calendar in SAC, then now I see it in Teams, so I don't forget that I actually need to do something, for example.
Exactly like that, yeah. So it very much simplifies the experience for the end user.
Absolutely.
Then the third optimization for the enterprise planning is the addition of more model calculations for the display of running totals. So now they have added the year to date, the quarter to date, the month to date, so that you can really add those running totals to your model. And then last but certainly not least, the version management. Now, if you publish your data and it doesn't go through as you want it, now you get certain reasons on why this data is not processed yet. Things like data access control or validation rules or data locking. Yeah, you get those reasons now if that data is not processed.
Okay.
So that really gives more transparency on your process.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that brings us to the end. It was quite a big release. To summarize, but I think we highlighted the most important or most useful features. Now, if you want to stay up to date with the new quarterly releases in 2024, please don't hesitate to follow our release page. The link is added below, and also follow us on LinkedIn for more updates with relation to Flexo and SAP. Thank you a lot.
See you soon.